Hey everyone, Joanna here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Today's pendant looks like a stone of sorts. Now, I don't know what stone it is. I don't know what the official name would be for the stone if there was a stone like that. But the unofficial name of this pendant is going to be, wait for it, the Joanna stone, and that's what we are sticking with. No one can argue that. Let's get started with the project. So I'm going to grab some translucent clay and purple alcohol ink. Now I'm going to mix it in very well. One thing I didn't show you guys, which bad on me, is that I'm also going to grab some Opal Sculpey clay, and I'm going to add purple to it. Opal is going to have those little speckles that shine and that add the pendant this really fun and unique look. But here you see I'm just taking translucent and I'm trying to add as much alcohol ink to it as I can or I actually want. You can see that the structure of the clay is changing just a little bit. Not to worry about it. You can always throw the clay in the freezer if it's becoming too sticky and gooey. Now, I'm not quite sure if you can see it, but here, that's the opal one. It has those little speckles in it, okay? So we have the opal right here, and with purple, we have translucent with purple, and I'm taking some translucent with eggplant alcohol ink. So I'm just creating a variation of the same close colors. Once the colors are mixed in very well, I'm going to throw the clay in the freezer because it's just so darn hot here. And now I'm cutting each of those into half, and the only reason that I'm doing that is because I want to do two different things with those clays. So this is group number one, and I'm just chopping them into small pieces. And what I'm going to do with it when I'm ready, I'm going to apply some of the purple alcohol ink on top, and I'm going to mix it in very well. Now, when I work with alcohol ink, I always wear gloves. It's just not worth the cleanup of your hands if you decide not to wear gloves. It's so much easier this way. And now I'm gonna let these guys dry. Now my group number two, I chopped into small pieces, and I'm adding a white acrylic paint to it, and I'm coating it with it, and I'm also going to put it on the side to dry. Now when my alcohol ink group one is dry, I added some gold leaf to it. So you have gold leaf, attached to some pieces, not to the others, and so on and so forth. Now the next step, I'm bringing some pearl clay into play, and I rolled it out into like a teardrop shape, kind of. I don't want any regular shapes right now, so teardrop was the only thing that I kind of thought of, and I'm going to completely cover it in gold leaf. If you have never used gold leaf, it is so easy to apply to clay because it really wants to stick. It wants to stick to everything and definitely wants to stick to clay. However, when you have two pieces of clay that have gold leaf on it, they don't necessarily want to stick together, and you can see a perfect example of it right here. I want to put those pieces together, and it really took a little bit of work to make sure that they are in one cohesive shape, and you can see they're still falling apart on me, but that's okay. It really worked out okay. After a little bit you kind of warm up the clay, and it does come together as one piece. Okay, so now the diamond dust, it's almost like a big glitter, but it's not glitter. It's almost looks like crystals, salt crystals, so I'm thinking maybe you can do the same thing with salt crystals. I'm just putting it a little bit on the side, and I'm going to add alcohol ink to it just to color that that dust glitter in purple, and I'm going to mix it in. Mix in the purple alcohol ink to it, and I'm gonna let it dry. I'm going to use it in just 1 minute for my project. Now let's get back to my gold leaf and pearl, and I'm taking X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to create kind of a vein. All I want is irregular shapes. I want this project to look kind of natural. I know it's not going to look natural. I get it, but I really don't want any defined lines. So I'm just giving it a kind of a rough chop. You know, you can cut into however many pieces that you want. Now I'm going back for my dust, diamond dust, and I'm not sure if you can see it very well. I'm going to take and I'm going to dunk just the edge into the dust. Okay, so basically I was hoping that in the pendant you'll be able to see those little crystals. Unfortunately, I don't think that you can see them very well, so actually this step, I'm not sure if you even need to do it. This was just me doing it, so maybe you guys can try it. Maybe it will work for you guys. Now the little part, which I'm not showing you guys because I am so awesome at it. I'm dunking it. I'm dunking the sides into my purple, the purple diamond dust, the one that I colored with alcohol ink. So there you have it. I really don't know if this step, I mean I do see the purple one in the finished project. I'm not sure about the one that was not purple. And now I'm just grabbing my group 1, which is just the alcohol ink with the 3 different clays and the gold leaf, and I'm just shoving it into that crevice that I just created. Again, I don't want any uniform shapes, so it really is like you don't have to be perfect about creating this. The only thing that you want to make sure is that kind of holds together, because we're going to slice it. Now when you're slicing it, at first I was like, oh my goodness, first of all, should have put it in the freezer, but I didn't. Oh well. But then it started falling apart on me a little bit. But honestly, yes, it was falling apart a little bit. It changed the shape, but it all came out really nice anyways. So there you have the slice, and we're gonna flip it around, and it's like, ooh, this is actually pretty darn nice. So this one is just the alcohol, the purple alcohol ink on top of all the translucents that already had alcohol ink in it. So now it's just a matter of picking up the pieces, but doesn't look like a vein running through some kind of a rock. I mean that's how I feel about that. So just smooth it out, and we're going to continue on. I grabbed some scrap clay, and I'm putting my not a big piece actually, and I'm putting my slice on top of it to create this dome shape of a pendant. And you can totally use scraps for this, because you are not going to see the inside of this pendant at all. So if you have any scraps lying around, just throw them in there. I don't think I would use black. I would probably go with the lighter colors, because I wasn't sure how the translucent clay was going to react to it, having something dark at the bottom. But you basically are just taking it and shaping a pendant. So now the pendant is full and it's chunky, and it really does start to look like a stone. So I rolled out some pearl clay, and I'm going to create the backing for it, and I just placed the stone on the clay and cut out as much as I need and fix the back, and I'm going to throw it in the oven 270 degrees for half an hour. So now I also created another piece with pearl and the gold, just as I did with the first one, but here I am adding leftover of that, just the alcohol ink ones, and also the ones that are the pieces that are covered with the acrylic white paint. Now I'm going to show you why I'm not fan of the white acrylic paint in this project, but you'll see in just one moment. Maybe you guys are just gonna love it. So I'm just doing the same thing as I did with my first batch. I'm going to slice it right now, and there you have it. And at this point it doesn't look that different, but when it is baked you will definitely see the difference between the pieces that had the white acrylic paint on it and the ones that had the alcohol ink on top. And it's up to you guys to decide what you guys what you guys like. I'm definitely not a fan with of the white acrylic paint with this translucent clay. So there you have it. You're just gonna chop and create all those really neat design pendants. Now I'm going to bake them, and I am going to actually create the backing after they are baked. So those pendants are baked, and once again I roll out some pearl clay and cut it out, cut out the shape from it, and I'm going to smooth the backing and throw it back in the oven for 20 minutes and 270 degrees. And then the resin is going to go on, and you guys, this is it, baked pendants with the resin on. Now you can see how different they look from when we started. The colors are even different, but you can see those gold veins popping out, and you know, the purple is really not purple, it's pink. But look at do you see the really pink flat ones, the flat pink? Those are the ones that had the white acrylic paint on it. Now my definite favorites are the first two, and I think it's because there was no acrylic paint pieces in that one. But you can see, I mean, they're still very nice, and you can see a lot of movement, and there's a lot of activity in those. There's a lot of interest, but definitely the acrylic paint, just I felt that it took it away from it. But this is my favorite, this one and the brother of this one, which is just to the left. You can see the little pieces of opal clay. You see that, you know, the sparkles. It looks so beautiful. So what do you guys think about this project? That was pretty fun, no? Do you guys like the acrylic paint with the translucent? Or are you like me that you'd much rather prefer the alcohol ink ones? Well, let me know. And my friends, with that being said, hope you're having a fabulous weekend, and till next time. Ta-ta!